with the biggest story of the day, and that is the news that DeWanna Bonner is no longer with the Indiana Fever. It was reported last night that DeWanna Bonner had no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and then the news broke today that the Indiana Fever had indeed.
This is the account of a once respected veteran who dismantled her own legacy within weeks, facing swift consequences. DeWanna Bonner recently abandoned Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, a surprising move that shook the WNBA. However, her attempt to secure a spot on a new team dramatically backfired, leaving her with significant financial losses and a severely damaged reputation.
She said, "I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out, and I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group."
The initial press release that broke the story had a very formal corporate feel. In their official statement, the Indiana Fever confirmed they had agreed to DeWanna Bonner's request to part ways. Bonner expressed gratitude to the team and mentioned, somewhat vaguely, that despite their shared goals, the fit just wasn't right. She also wished the young squad success as they moved forward. On the surface, everything seemed polite and professional. But beneath that calm statement lay a far more complicated and turbulent situation.
If another team claims her off the waivers, she gets her full salary. She gets her full salary if another team claims her off the waivers.
It wasn't about a poor fit. Instead, it was a deliberate choice to abandon a team filled with young, impressionable players who had relied on her leadership. She left them to face the overwhelming media frenzy surrounding Caitlin Clark all by themselves. Behind the carefully crafted statement, a veteran player was intentionally walking away mid-season, stirring up turmoil in a locker room that desperately needed steady guidance.
Thing that makes DeWanna Bonner look really, really bad. It makes DB look really, really bad. And it's the fact that she has told all other teams, other than the Mercury, don't sign her.
When a WNBA player's contract expires, they enter the waiver process, meaning any of the league's other 11 teams have 48 hours to claim them. DeWanna Bonner, a three-time All-Star with championship experience, was expected to have her full guaranteed $200,000 salary honored. The clock started ticking. But when the 48-hour window closed, there was an unexpected silence across the league. After that, she became essentially a free agent, a valuable player available to any team looking to add depth. As a proven scorer, she could have been a key asset for a contender or a mentor for a younger squad.
And look, I understand that's where she wants to go. Why didn't she go there in the summer? We know why, because she couldn't have got her max contracts. And by the way, people are like, oh, they can give her the minimum. No, they can't. The Phoenix Mercury can give her a prorated $80,000 salary for the rest of the year. So she's only going to lose about 30K-ish. And she's going to lose about 40, 50K. Whereas they would have been only able to sign her earlier on. Well, they would only be able to sign her for nothing. Because again, we can't forget as well, the Phoenix Mercury cut Sevgi Uzun. It's the Phoenix Mercury have a bunch of players signed on hardships and a bunch of players that they can cut. Like they literally cap space magicked up. And as soon as cap space magics up for the India or for the Phoenix Mercury.
This moment shattered any illusion that Bonner's departure was amicable. Instead, it was a clear rejection by the entire league, and not a single WNBA team placed a claim during the waiver period. Every organization took note of the circumstances and decided she wasn't worth the trouble, even for free. As the dust settled, troubling details about the real reasons behind the silence began to emerge. Insiders revealed that Bonner was actively reaching out to other teams, urging them not to claim her off waivers. She was trying to manipulate the system to force a move to one specific team, the Phoenix Mercury. The boldness of this tactic is striking. While superstars like Jimmy Butler have faced criticism for leveraging their status to escape tough situations, Bonner, a 36-year-old veteran nearing the end of her career, acted like a free agent demanding to pick her next destination. Ignoring her binding contract, she wanted the freedom to leave Indiana and choose where she landed. However, her plan had a fatal flaw. The Mercury, the very team she sought, was reportedly hesitant to sign her. According to sources, Phoenix's front office worried about bringing in a player who had just walked away from her team. When the going got tough, the Mercury were building strong chemistry with a young, hungry roster that was thriving under a clear system. Why risk disrupting that balance for a veteran who had already shown she might not be dependable in difficult times? Bonner left Indiana, believing Phoenix would welcome her with open arms, only to find the reality far less inviting. The financial consequences of this miscalculation were as severe as the damage to her reputation. By going unclaimed on waivers, Bonner forfeited her remaining guaranteed salary with Indiana, around $100,000. When she finally signed with Phoenix, it was at a prorated veteran minimum, roughly $80,000 for the rest of the season. In other words, she willingly gave up more than $120,000. A costly mistake that painted her as both selfish and reckless in the eyes of league executives and fans alike. But the fallout wasn't limited to her bank account or reputation. The one who suffered most was Clark, the young star who needed Bonner's veteran guidance the most. When Bonner joined Indiana, Clark was seen as a rookie phenom, under the watchful eye of a seasoned mentor. Early in preseason and practices, Clark was eager to learn and connect with Bonner instead of offering support. Bonner's abrupt exit sent a harsh message to Clark and the team: when the pressure mounts, you can simply quit and walk away. This wasn't just a professional disappointment, it was a betrayal. One of the most telling signs of Bonner's misstep was the silence that followed among her peers. In professional sports, players often rally behind teammates who face conflicts or feel mistreated. Yet, after Bonner left, not a single veteran or union member spoke in her defense. This collective silence spoke volumes. Her colleagues saw her actions not as a brave stand for player empowerment, but as a selfish breach of trust. Beyond the personal drama, Bonner's mid-season exit poses a serious risk for the league as a whole. It sets a dangerous precedent that could encourage other players to break contracts whenever they're unhappy, turning binding agreements into mere suggestions. For a league growing and striving for stability, especially for smaller market teams like Indiana that rely on steady rosters, this behavior threatens the foundation of professional play. In an era where athlete empowerment is celebrated, Bonner's story forces us to ask where the line lies between rightful self-advocacy and entitlement, between pursuing what you want and abandoning your responsibilities. Ultimately, while Bonner achieved her move to Phoenix, the cost was steep. A tarnished reputation, a massive financial loss, and a legacy forever marked by quitting on Clark and the Indiana Fever. By crossing that line so blatantly, she may have permanently damaged her standing in the league.